Hey guys, my name is Bahroz and welcome to my channel. This video is the second part of my series on Procter & Gamble's situational questions. The first video focused on people-related situational questions, while this second video will cover business-related or task-oriented questions. Also, in the first video, I talked about what P&G situational questions are and where they fit into the interview process, how situational questions differ from behavioral questions and why they are considered the most challenging part of the P&G interview, and how to prepare for them with examples of sample questions. So I highly recommend, if you've not done already, to check out the first video. I will leave the link to that video in the description of this video. Now, this video will guide you through the second type of situational questions, discussing how to approach and answer them effectively. I will also provide sample questions and demonstrate how to structure your responses using the format that I will explain. Now, before we dive in, here's an important disclaimer. The information I share in this video is publicly available and doesn't involve any proprietary knowledge from the time I had in Procter & Gamble, where I worked for approximately 11 years. The commonly asked questions I discuss in this video are sourced from all over the web. I will leave the resources I have used in the description of this video. The approach I outline for answering these questions is based on universal interview techniques that anyone can make use of. Now, first things first, any situational question you'll be asked will revolve around P&G's peak performance factors. These key skills and behaviors are not just used to assess job candidates, but also play a critical role in evaluating employees' yearly performance. The factors are courage to lead, innovate for growth, champion productivity, execute with excellence, bring out your best. Again, this is something which P&G would already inform you once you have applied for a role in P&G, saying that these are the things that you need to cover in your interview. So again, this is all public knowledge as well. Since P&G situational questions are designed to assess how you handle real-world challenges, your answers should demonstrate how you've applied these peak performance factors in action. Expect to be given hypothetical workplace scenarios where you'll need to explain how you would approach the situation while embodying these key competencies. As you prepare for P&G's assessment process, it's crucial to first understand these peak performance factors. I've covered them in detail in a separate video, which I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Mastering these factors will help you understand how your responses will be evaluated and what P&G is looking for. In this particular video, I'll walk you through common situational questions you might face and how to structure your answers effectively. Plus, towards the end, I'll share key strategies you can apply across all types of situational interview questions. So make sure you watch it till the end. Now, also let me call out here that the reason why it is easier to predict what will P&G be asking you in an interview, or for that matter, any big company would be asking you in an interview, because in such big companies, there is a very structured approach to interviewing. They have set guidelines on what to be asked and how to go about evaluating the candidates. So for the most part, every interviewer or hiring manager tends to follow the same script and methodology, and hence for someone like me who coaches and mentors hundreds of candidates for jobs, it becomes very easy to pick on the commonalities and the trend. Finally, if you find any value from this video, I have a special ask of you, which is please press the like button, as this keeps me motivated. And more importantly, if not done already, subscribe to the channel, because on this channel I share content pertaining to how you can achieve success in your career and build your wealth. If any of these topics are of interest to you, this channel is right for you. Now let's get rolling into the content of the video. Now, first and foremost, understanding the business-oriented situational questions. The format for answering business-related or task-oriented situational questions involves the following steps. 1. Identify the problem and its source. Begin by thoroughly understanding the issue, identifying its source, and assessing its impact in terms of financial losses and time constraints. For example, suppose the company is experiencing a business loss. You need to determine, why is the company facing this loss? What is the source of the problem? Example, specific brand, market, country, or sales channel. What is the magnitude of the loss in terms of revenue, duration? Example, a month, 6 months, or a year. Second is gather inputs from key stakeholders. At P&G, teamwork is fundamental, and no individual is expected to be an expert in every domain. If you work in finance, for instance, you may not have deep knowledge of sales or marketing or operations. It is essential to collaborate with the relevant stakeholders, both internally with internal team members and also with external partners, to gather insights before making a final decision. Number 3, or step 3, is develop possible solutions. Once you have collected sufficient data, list all potential solutions and assess their feasibility. Weigh the pros and cons of each option, incorporating insights from different stakeholders. For example, the perspective of the sales team, the viewpoint of the marketing specialist, the input of plant engineers if the issue is production related. Step number 4 is to analyze risk and sensitivities. Evaluate both the worst case and the best case scenario for each solution. This will help the decision makers assess the potential risk and make informed choices. Number 5, and the last step, is align with key stakeholders and decision makers. Ensure that all options, risks, and benefits are aligned with the key stakeholders before presenting the final recommendation to the decision maker. Now let's move to the first example. Here, the first example that I want to share is about handling time constraints. Being well organized is key to managing such situations effectively. There are different ways you might be asked about this scenario. I'll share a couple of sample questions that reflect the same challenge and then guide you on how to approach your response. Now, here, let me make a call out, which is in case you're interested in having a one-to-one coaching session with me, in order for me to help you how to prepare for an interview, you can book that session using the link that I will leave in the description of this video. In case you're interested in knowing what do I cover in this session, well, I have multiple recorded sessions that I've had with my students and candidates, which I've posted on my channel. So you can check out those videos for you to have an idea as to what I will cover. Now, let's move into the sample question. You have been working for the past few weeks, months on a major assignment or a project that is now due in 1 week. And your supervisor tells you or comes to you that the project must be ready to go immediately, let's say next 48 hours. Or let's say you have 3 projects due next week, have made significant progress on them. However, due to an organizational change, you need to redo most of the work, requiring expertise from others. Additionally, you have 2 projects due in several months and you need to start working on them this week to ensure timely completion. How would you handle the situation to achieve the best possible results? So these 2 sample questions that I shared kind of talk about the same thing, which is how do you go about prioritizing and managing and organizing your task. Now, in both cases, the common challenge is managing a tight deadline. Here's how you can effectively address this. Number 1 is prioritization. Start by listing all your projects and categorizing them based on urgency and importance. Identify which tasks require immediate attention and which can be scheduled later. This approach ensures that you allocate your time and effort effectively. Second is focus on high impact tasks. Analyze each project and identify the critical components that will contribute to 80% of the outcome. Prioritizing these key elements will help you maximize your efficiency within the given time constraint. Third is optimize the scope. If time is limited, adjust the project scope strategically. For example, if you initially planned a nationwide product launch, consider launching in key cities first before expanding. This way, you can still deliver results while managing the available time effectively. Number 4 is engaging key stakeholders. Ensure that you consult with key stakeholders and gather their input when making important decisions. This collaboration will help you align, prioritize, and optimize project execution. And last but not the least, number 5 is communicate and align with leadership. Keep your manager and relevant stakeholders informed about your prioritization strategy. This ensures that they understand your approach and can support necessary adjustment to timelines and expectations. Now, here, let me make a quick call out as well. If you are going through the PNG hiring process, then you will also encounter PNG test. In case you want to ace the test, it is best that you practice. The tests are peak performance, grid, digit, switch challenges. So in case for you to ace them, it is best to practice. What I've done is I went on the web, I sifted through the web and found this wonderful website which has sample tests, sample questions which mimic the original test. I highly recommend you check them out and practice the tests that are available on that website. This way you will not just be able to train yourself on how to answer those questions, but also be able to train yourself how to handle the pressure when you are in the final test. So I will leave the link to that website in the description of this video. Now, let's explore another example. Here is the sample questions. You have been working hard to finish a project that is now held up with someone else, another partner, another team member. You need the colleague to complete their part of the project or task before you can move forward and your deadline is approaching. What would you do? Now, here the approach that you need to take is talk about, first you identify the root cause, where you determine why the delay is happening. Is your colleague overwhelmed with other responsibilities or do they lack the necessary expertise? Second is offer assistance. If it's capacity issue, offer to help them complete their portion by providing additional support. If it's a capability issue, identify someone else in the organization who can step in and provide the required expertise. Number 3 is escalate when necessary. If you're unable to resolve the issue directly, consult your manager, explain the situation, outline potential solutions, and clarify the impact of the delay. Your manager can help allocate resources or adjust priorities as needed. Let's take another example, which is you are about to launch a new product that has been promoted by your customers or the retailers. Before shipping it to them, you receive a call from your production department that there is a delay in shipping that particular product beyond the launch date. Now, what would you do? Here, you first assess the impact, understand the financial and reputational cost both for the company and for the customers or the retailers. Quantify the potential losses and identify the most affected parties. Second is communicate internally. Notify key internal stakeholders and ensure alignment on the situation's severity and implications. Number 3, develop an external communication plan. After internal discussion, coordinate a clear and strategic message for retailers and customers. This ensures transparency and helps maintain trust. And last but not the least, explore alternative options or solutions. Consider ways to mitigate the impact, such as repurposing promotional material for a later launch, offering retailers alternate products to fill the shelf for now, providing compensation or incentive to minimize the retailer's dissatisfaction. Now let's move into a next sample question where you have been presented an opportunity to take up a new assignment in your organization that would provide good experience for your professional growth. However, you would have to learn new skill set which you didn't possess previously. New skill set on systems and processes that may take also a lot of time for you to fully master. What would you do? Here the approach is first show enthusiasm and growth mindset. Emphasize your willingness to take on challenges. Acknowledge that you may not be an expert initially, but highlight your ability to learn quickly. Second is demonstrate self-awareness. Express your understanding that mastering a new skill set takes time, just as it does with the soft skills like writing, presenting, or managing meetings. Number 3, proactively seek support. Identify available resources and experts within the company who can help you accelerate your learning curve. Ensure that you have a clear plan to leverage these resources effectively. And last but not the least, align with your team members. Communicate your learning journey to your colleagues so they understand your position and can support you in the transition. The guidance will help you integrate into the role more effectively. By structuring your responses in this way, you can not only demonstrate problem-solving skills, but also showcase adaptability, collaboration, and leadership, all qualities highly valued by Procter & Gamble. Now let's take one final example. The company needs to produce 10 million worth of a particular product, but due to constraints, only 20% of the demand can be met. How would you go about managing this situation? Now, this is a very open-ended question, meaning the interviewer wants to see how you approach problem solving when production fails significantly short of demand. Now here the approach that you will take is first assess the business impact. Start by quantifying the issue in terms of financial loss. In this case, 80% of expected volume cannot be delivered, which directly impacts revenue and profitability. Understanding the cost implication is crucial. Second is to prioritize profitable channels. Identify the business units or markets that generate the highest profit margins. If operating across multiple regions, determine which market should receive the limited supply first. If restricted to a single country, then maybe prioritize customers who yield the highest profitability. Third is consider strategic partnership. Not all customers generate most profit, but some are strategically important due to brand visibility. Let's say prioritizing flagship stores or high visibility retailers can enhance brand equity, even if margins are lower. Next is to optimize pricing and promotion. Like since demand exceeds supply, promotional discounts are unnecessary. If you initially planned a 10% launch discount, remove it and sell the product at a full price to maximize profit. Similarly, reduce or eliminate short-term marketing initiatives such as digital ads or TV spots. Since demand is already high, redirect those savings to improve the bottom line. Lastly, keep the math simple. If the interviewer asks for financial calculations, ensure they remain straightforward. For example, suppose each product sells for $1. The company planned to sell 1 million worth or units of those particular product, but can only produce 200,000. This results in a shortfall of 800,000 units, equating to 800,000 in lost revenue. If production cost is around 50%, the lost profit amount to $400,000. Keeping calculations simple and clear demonstrates logical thinking without unnecessary complexity. Now, in rare cases, interviewers may ask for more detailed financial reasoning, especially if they want to assess quantitative skills similar to consulting style interview at, let's say, McKinsey, BCG. While this isn't typical of Procter & Gamble, some candidates have reported encountering such questions. If this happens, stay composed, use logical reasoning, and present numbers clearly. Now, here are the final thoughts. With the insights shared in this video and the insights shared in the previous video, you should now feel confident in taking Procter & Gamble situational questions effectively. Thank you for watching.